Welcome back to Self with Savannah. Today, I want to share with you why I stopped forcing my life to look a certain way. I feel like this is really important for me to share because I think, especially as young adults, it's really easy to get caught up in comparing your life to others and feeling like if your life doesn't look this certain way by a certain age, it's like you're behind or that you're not doing enough or you're not good enough. And it's also really easy to get caught up in all of the outside noise, all the societal pressures. It's really easy to feel like, oh, everyone else's life looks this way right now, so mine should look that way as well. Or that's what everyone else wants, so I should want that too. Or this is what society tells us our life is supposed to look like at this age, and mine doesn't look like that. So that must mean that there's something wrong with me. And that is just so not true. It's so far from the truth. We are meant to live our lives in a way that feels good and true for us, which means that your life does not have to look like everybody else's. It does not have to follow all of these societal norms. You don't have to go down that imaginary checklist that society made up if it doesn't feel good for you. And so, what I want to help you shift today is shifting your focus from all of the outside noise and opinions and expectations and what everyone else is doing with their life, and shifting your focus back to yourself, to your own life. Because that is why we are here. We are here to learn and grow and to enjoy our lives in the process. And the only way that you can live a life that feels genuinely fulfilling and you feel lit up by and you look forward to waking up to each day is by creating it and living it your own way, even if it doesn't make sense to anybody else. And the reason why I feel so passionate about this is because I've been on both ends of it. I've been at a place where I was trying to tick off all of the boxes, where I was forcing myself to try and fit inside of this box. I was making myself do all of these things and live my life in a way that didn't actually feel good to me, but I was doing it because that's how everyone else was choosing to live their life. That's what society tells us we're supposed to do. That was the norms. That's what everyone says you should do because that's going to make you successful and feel happy. But I was not happy because I wasn't living my life in a way that felt good for me. And so I want you to know that if you're at a place in your life right now where you feel disconnected or you feel a bit lost, you feel like you dread waking up each day. I remember feeling like that a lot. It was like before I would go to bed, it was like I was already dreading the next day. And the day hadn't even begun yet. And I was already thinking to myself, oh, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and have to do XYZ. That wasn't living my life. That was just going through the motions, running on autopilot, living my life in a way that just felt so unaligned and it didn't feel good. And yeah, my life looked good from the outside, right? I graduated college. I was in my first job out of college. I was going down this career path. For those who don't know, I thought I wanted to be a preschool teacher out of college. And I just wasn't happy. I was not happy. And I can see so clearly now it's because I wasn't living life for me. I was allowing everyone else's opinions to dictate how I lived my own life, which of course led me to not feeling good. But now that I have completely changed my life, and I mean entirely, it's crazy. For those who don't know, when I was in my first job out of college and I was working and I was really unhappy. I was living somewhere I didn't want to be. it wasn't until I started listening to my true desires and I moved abroad to New Zealand and I continued traveling for several years after that, living in the most incredible places all over the world. And now I run my own business that I literally just need my laptop and my phone to be able to run. And I get to help women all over the world. I'm literally living my dream life. I am living a life that completely changed in the most incredible ways because I started allowing myself to live my life how I actually wanted to. I gave myself permission to make that one decision to quit my job and move to New Zealand, which completely changed the trajectory of my life and led me to where I'm at now. And it just keeps getting better and better because I stopped allowing everything outside of me to control how I lived my life. I said, screw all of the norms. I'm done living my life that way. And I shifted my focus back to me and how I wanted to. And here we are. And I want to help you guys do the same because you deserve to live a life that you love, that you're so lit up by, that you feel excited to wake up to each day. And not because your life is perfect, but because you're creating it, you're building it in a way that feels good for you. And I promise you, you are capable of making it happen. You really, truly are. And you don't have to have it all figured out right now. We're not meant to have every single tiny detail of our life figured out, right? It's about knowing what you want and working towards that, but also surrendering, letting go, and being open to the possibilities, allowing the universe to work its magic. I really want to make it clear that your life does not have to make sense to anybody else because they aren't the ones living your life, you are. Right? When I quit my job out of college, right? It was a job that looked good on paper. I was starting out on this path that was the norm that society tells us we should. But when I quit my job to move abroad and go travel for years, of course there were people that were questioning me. Yes, there were people who had judgments and opinions, but I was no longer going to allow other people to dictate how I lived my own life. Doing so is always going to leave you feeling disconnected, unfulfilled, and frankly, just not happy. And I don't want you to feel like that. I want you to feel so lit up by life. You deserve that. And so it's time to start getting honest with yourself about what it is that you actually want. Maybe everyone else around you or the norms are to go to college, to get a career that you stay in, to climb the corporate ladder, to have kids, to buy a house, to get married, whatever it is. I want you to check in with yourself and be honest with yourself. That is how real change happens, is by being honest with yourself. Not being in the mindset of, oh, I'm going to make this decision because I know that's what my family would want for me. I know that's what my friends would want for me. I know that this is the safest option because it's going to give me the least amount of judgment. So I'm going to feel safe. I'm going to feel comfortable. I want you to pretend for a second that fear just simply doesn't exist. The norms just don't exist. And get honest with yourself about what it is that you want. If none of that existed, how would you be living your life right now? Where would you be living? Who would you be surrounded by? How would you want to feel in your life? Journal or write about, or even just think about, what would a day in your dream life look like? Nobody else has to read what you write. This is simply for you. And just allow yourself to visualize it. Allow yourself to start being open to the possibilities. You know what's best for you. You already have the answers within yourself. It's just about learning. And this is what I do inside Self, my membership, is I help my women let go of all of the outside opinions and noise and pressures and fear and limiting beliefs and stories that they're holding on themselves, and letting all of that go so that you can return to the truth of who you are. You can have an honest, clear understanding of who you are at your core. Because once you truly know yourself and you know what's important to you, that is how the clarity comes on what it is that you want. Step one is always understanding yourself, who you are, without all of the outside noise. And then your path is going to reveal itself. All of these desires that you've pushed down and you've been ignoring because you've been feeding yourself the story of, oh, nobody else does that, so neither can I. I'm not good enough for that. That's not realistic. Once you can get rid of and release all of that external bullshit, for lack of a better word, all of these desires that have been within you all along, they come back to the surface. And those desires were placed on your heart for a reason, because you are meant to have them. And if you are meant to have them, that also means that you are capable of making them happen. Something else I want to note is that you are allowed to change your mind. Just because you thought at one point in your life this is what you wanted, or you wanted to go down this particular path, you don't have to continue down that path if it no longer feels good for you. I think it's so easy to get caught up in this idea that because we made this decision at one point in our lives and we wanted this thing at one point in our lives, we now have to want that for the rest of our lives. And that's not true. You can literally change your mind right now. In fact, I would say that it's important to change your mind. And it's proof that you are growing as a human. As we grow and evolve and expand, what we want is going to grow and evolve and expand as well. So, of course, you're going to change your mind. And once you take the time to really get to know yourself, you are most likely going to change your mind as well. Because maybe what you thought you wanted at one point, you didn't realize at the time, but you wanted that thing because your family was putting pressure on you to do this. Your friends were, teachers, society. You didn't realize that you were making that decision because of all the outside noise and expectations. And once you start letting go of that and you really become clear on who you are, you may realize, oh, I actually don't want that thing. That's not me. And that is okay. You don't have to keep yourself stuck in this box and feel suffocated by this one decision that you made. And maybe it feels a bit scary or uncomfortable to make a decision, especially if it's something that you feel like your family or your friends or the people in your life aren't going to understand. That's okay. I get that. Having that fear of how you think other people are going to respond to a decision that you're choosing to make on how you live your life, it's probably going to feel uncomfortable, especially if it's something that's different from how you're currently living or how you've always lived your life in the past. That's normal. That's literally how our mind and our bodies, our nervous system is wired. It's to keep us in the familiar, is to keep us in the comfortable. And so when you're choosing to make a decision that is suddenly not familiar, it's something new, it's literally how you are wired is to feel fearful. So I encourage you to make that decision anyway. to feel the fear and do it anyway, because that is how you expand your comfort zone. And I promise you, when you start stepping out of your comfort zone and you begin making decisions that actually align with you, there is a whole beautiful, incredible life waiting for you on the other side of that fear. And who knows, when you start choosing to change your life and do the things that you want to do, the people around you may respond so much better than you even think they will right now. I think it's so common for us to project all of our own fears and judgments that we may be having about ourselves onto everybody else. I know for me, I've made decisions where I'm like, oh, geez, like, I wonder how the people in my life are going to respond to this. And oftentimes I've been met with support and love. And it was really just me that was holding myself back. I was hiding behind my own fear. And of course, there were other people that don't get it, they don't understand. But once you keep choosing to live your life in a way that feels good for you and you keep showing up for yourself, the more that you do so, you're going to stop caring what anyone else thinks about it, because you know how good it feels when you're living your life for you, because you're no longer abandoning yourself to try to please everyone else around you. And the people who are meant to be in your life are going to support you, are going to love you. And the ones who don't, well, maybe that's a sign that they are no longer meant to be in your life, or that you need to start creating healthy boundaries for yourself so that people don't try to talk you out of your dreams. Because people project their own life experiences, their own beliefs that they have about themselves and what's possible for them onto you. And so if you share something that you want to do, a dream or desire that you have with somebody else, and you're met with, oh, come on, be realistic, or they laugh at you, or they say that's not possible, that's not your truth. That is their own story, their own limitations that they have about themselves, and they're projecting that onto you. And so you don't have to believe it. I would encourage you not to believe it because it is not your truth. If you have a desire, it is placed on your heart for a reason, and you are 100% capable of making it happen. I remember when I was telling somebody that this was before or at the very beginning when I was starting to build my business, I was telling someone about it and telling them how I wanted to build a business that helps people and I only need my laptop to be able to work and I can work remotely and pick up and move and travel whenever I want to, because I did not enjoy working a 9 to 5 life. I've worked many, many different 9 to 5 jobs in my life, and I knew that wasn't for me. That's not what I wanted to do anymore. And they laughed at me like I was joking. And so if I would have chose to allow their judgments and their own limiting beliefs and allow that to stop me, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. I chose to continue to follow my heart, to follow my desires, and keep going. They didn't need to understand because they aren't the ones living my life. I am. You have to believe in yourself before anyone else believes in you. And for what it counts, I believe in you. I believe in you full heartedly. If you are willing to choose yourself to do the work, you are going to get there. You are. And your life is going to feel so fucking beautiful and magical because of it. I know what it feels like to be in a place where I wasn't choosing to live for myself. I wasn't allowing myself to do the things that I wanted to do. I was ignoring my truth. I didn't know who I was at the time or what I wanted. And that left me feeling incredibly lost and unhappy and stressed and anxious. But I also know what it's like to be on the other side of that when I began making changes in my life, to start to get to know who I actually am, what it was that I wanted, and started living my life in a way that felt good for me. And it didn't happen overnight. It's not meant to happen overnight. It's about showing up for yourself every day, making decisions that align with who you are. So, understanding that you deserve to live a life that you love. That is why you're here. It's knowing that there are no rules on how you have to live your life. You make your own rules. It's about understanding that you don't have to be on the same timeline as everybody else. You get to live your life your own way. You are meant to feel good in your life, and you are capable of making it happen. I'm going to leave the episode there. If you want more support with this, I'll leave the link to my membership, in the description below. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.